Hello and welcome to Unacademy, a one-stop destination for the English medium civil services aspirants. Today is an important day for Unacademy IAS English. All of us, our team, for the first time, we are launching a comprehensive batch in English medium, which would last 2 years. You would know, to comprehensively prepare for this examination, ideally you need 2 years of rigorous preparation, which will enable you to cover concepts, facts, which will help in your prelims exam, to understand and analyze the syllabus, answer writing, integrate it with current affairs. You need a minimum of 2 years to comprehensively cover all the aspects of the syllabus, prelims, mains, and then answer writing. Achievers Batch starts on the 31st of August this year. Jatin sir, who has now joined us, you all know, he will be starting this 2 year program, and we'll start with Polity and Governance, and one by one other subjects would be covered. And as usual, Mukesh sir would be teaching geography, Sham sir would be teaching economics, Abhishek sir, your one and only teacher for history, Chetan sir, international relations, disaster management, internal security. Hema ma'am unfortunately couldn't join us today. She's also a part of this team to cover science and technology. Astha ma'am and Tanmay sir. So Jatin sir, let's start with you. How are you going to cover this particular program? What should the student expect from you, and what should you expect from the students?
So polity is an exceptionally interesting subject, and my endeavor would be to make this subject as interesting as I can for all the students, genuinely make them fall in love with the subject that I love teaching. We will be starting from scratch. It does not matter whether you come with a background in science, whether you come with a background in medicine, or for that matter, humanities. I would try to make sure that the subject is taught from the bare act, from where it's supposed to be taken up. Yet at the same time, we will try to achieve the depth, the conceptual clarity, the intensity that is required for not just prelims, but for the mains examination. We'll try and cover the concepts in such a manner that students, after attending the classes, can go and solve the previous year questions. They understand how an answer is supposed to be structured in the mains examination, and they also develop a mindset to solve questions in prelims, which can often be difficult, especially given the nature of questions that have been asked in the recent years at UPSC. The other attempt in this course would also be to provide them mentorship on a daily basis to keep a check on the progress of the students and to ensure that they are on track with respect to their preparation.
Sir, those students who want to enroll in your batch, in the Achievers batch, which starts on the 31st of August, give them a direction. How can they enroll in your batch, and what are the features and highlights of this program?
So they can go onto the Unacademy website, enroll in the courses, and make sure that they use the IAS English code, because that would allocate them to the English batches and the batch that I'll be teaching in. The classes would be organized from 7 to 9 p.m. every day, Monday to Friday. We'll be starting with the course of polity. And as I said, the only thing that I expect my students to turn up in the class with is a notebook, a pen, and a lot of curiosity.
How would you integrate mains analysis, the preparation for the mains exam, answer writing, the nuances of answer writing?
As we cover the topics, after a few topics, we would be taking up the previous year questions, and I would be also telling the students how they should approach answer writing with respect to those questions. And the students can always reach out to us if they have written some of their answers. They can submit it to us, and I'd be more than happy to provide them feedback on the same.
There's a lot of thought that has gone into it to devise and conceptualize a 2 year program. Do you think that a student would ideally need 2 years of thorough, rigorous preparation to ace this examination?
In the recent times,
And would it be particularly beneficial for those who are working professionals, who may not be able to devote a lot of time day in and day out, and they may stretch their preparation journey to 2 years and then comprehensively cover the syllabus?
In the recent times, I have seen that there has been a lot of emphasis on trying to cover the syllabus in haste among the aspirants. My only piece of advice to them would be, that they should not rush through their preparation. Once their foundation is solid, once their conceptual clarity is there, it will help them to sail through both the stages of the examination with flying colors. And having said that, I also feel that they need to pace out their preparation. When they have a 2-year window, they can pace it according to their requirements and their learning speed. And especially for the working professionals, students, those who may be already enrolled in university courses, they may find it difficult to juggle time when they are given the pressure of joining a 1-year course. A 2-year course would give them that window where they can dedicate time to their office commitments, and they can also take care of any of the commitments that they may have the university, and they can pace the entire learning at the way it is supposed to be done.
How many hours would you take to cover polity, then governance?
We would be looking at around about 120 hours for polity. So that would mean around 60 classes of 2 hours each. For governance, we'll be looking at a duration of around 25 to 30 hours. So that could mean around 12 to 14 classes of 2 hours each.
After attending your classes, do they need to refer to any book, any material? What would your advice be?
My advice would be that first they should come into the class, attend a few classes, and then as we go further, I tell them that what are the specific chapters, what are the specific references that they can go to, and they can build better clarity of the concepts.
Those who enroll with us in Iconic batch, for example, we have Plus, Iconic Pro, Platinum. Those who enroll with us in Iconic Pro, Platinum, we also provide them Lakshmikant, Indian polity book. Would you ask them to refer to that book, or should there be any other book that they need to follow?
Absolutely. I think Lakshmikant has been the go-to book as far as Indian polity is concerned, but I also feel that they need to know how to approach Lakshmikant. And that's what we'll be discussing in the classes. And once they attend the classes, they would know exactly what are the things that they need to focus on in the book, because the books are voluminous. And I need to know exactly what is required for the examination and what is that I need to retain in my memory. And that's something that we'll be discussing in the classes.
How many newspapers should they read, and which ones?
I think my favorite one has always been the Indian Express. The way the language is, the kind of editorials that Indian Express comes out with. But I feel that even the Hindu is an excellent newspaper. They can choose any one of them, and they should not feel any kind of fear of missing out if they don't read the other newspaper. As a part of our current affairs classes, as a part of Unica, we would also be touching upon the current affairs for each of the subjects, and that should help them again approach the newspapers in a more comprehensive manner.
How many hours or how many minutes should they devote to a newspaper daily?
Initially, when they would start, it would take them almost 2 hours to 3 hours, especially for those who have not been used to reading newspapers or those who have not been exposed to this kind of subjects and reading. But eventually, over a period of time, once they get a hang of what is important for the examination, what they don't need to read.
And a lot of repetition later.
Yes, and a lot of repetition. A lot of news items are evolving on a daily basis. They don't need to read that. If there is a bill that is being discussed in the parliament, they can put it on hold for a few days and let the entire final picture evolve, and then to analyze and to know about that topic would make more sense. And therefore, I feel that at any point of time, they would need to devote around 45 minutes to an hour on a daily basis to read the newspapers. But once they attend the current affairs classes, they would also know exactly how to approach reading the newspapers, and that would help them saving a lot of time.
Should they make notes of newspapers or rely on monthly magazine that we provide?
At this stage, I would suggest that they don't need to make any notes, but what they can do is, if there are some really important articles that come in the newspapers that may have been written in, for example, in our subject by a former CJI or by a former CEC or a really important authority on constitutional law, they can probably take a snippet of it, put it in some kind of e-form just for reference. But the current affairs magazines that is being prepared, the kind of thoroughness which is being shown by the team here at Unacademy IAS English would help them to sail through the current affairs with the help of the magazine itself.
Any other advice for current affairs specifically?
I would say that don't complicate current affairs.
I'm asking this question because you have been part of an institution which was known for a solid, thorough current affairs material. you would also bring that expertise here. For current affairs specifically, what would you suggest?
I would suggest that first build your basics really strong, because a lot of current affairs that is asked by UPSC is based on the static portions. Perhaps in some subjects such as science and tech and environment, the current affairs may be a bit divorced from the basics and the statics because it is really
Factual.
current affairs and factual. But in a subject like polity, economy, they don't really need to focus and waste a lot of their time worrying about the current affairs. Once this solid foundation has been built, they can just build upon that with the help of current affairs program.
Any advice for the students who will be enrolling in your batch?
Stay curious and ensure that you are ready to put in the hard work from your end, because ultimately no teacher, no institution, no specific book is going to qualify this examination for you. It's the effort that you put in. We will be here to guide you, we will be here to support you, but ultimately the success in journey would come only from your own efforts.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. Do not forget the start date of this batch, 31st of August, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., Monday to Friday, and there would be a test over the weekend, both prelims as well as for the mains examination. Thank you so much, sir. A pleasure having you here. All the best.
Thank you so much, sir.